Yeah.
Oh, when I looked at it, I'm like, ooh, this. Cause like I'm gonna spray the shit out of WD-40 on that motherfucker. Cause that bitch gonna be hard as hell to get off, man.
Hey, what you driving?
Me,
Station wagon?
Nah, nah, I ain't doing that. Unless it's a CTSV, I ain't doing it. or Benz E55 AMG, but
Oh wow, yeah.
Nah, my wife's friend, they have 3 cars, and they let us hold their 3rd car.
Oh, that's right.
Really nice. Yeah,
That's a good friend.
Yeah, they.
That's what I
Nah,
was
they
gonna
trying to
ask
keep
you.
it.
You still down?
Yeah, they trying to keep it.
I don't see me getting no car till after I graduate. This is my last semester. So.
Yeah. I'm probably not gonna get a car until I get this settlement check. I'm not gonna finance nothing else. At least not right now.
I feel you on that.
Yeah. We was paying over close to $1,400 in car note. We ain't doing that again.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We ain't doing that again.
Yeah, just cash out on something.
Cash out, and then hopefully once my real estate shit start, wifey and my real estate shit start popping, then you know what I'm saying. We'll be in a whole different tax bracket. But right now, I ain't doing it again.
Yeah, I gotta change my OT, like, cause
All right,
I
just
got the check engine light to go off
sure
before I take my emissions. Cause I know that shit ain't gonna pass with that check engine light on.
So when I put my turbo kit on the Beamer, that shit was not. It had no cats at all. The check engine light wasn't on or nothing because like the program that I used would take it off. But if I were to go try to pass emissions, it wouldn't pass. So one of my homies stays out not far from Milledgeville, and I register my car out there because they ain't got to pass emissions. So I like fuck that. I'll drive the hour.
Right. Yeah, no, I gotta change mine. I'm like, fuck.
Yep, birthday right around the corner, nigga.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, cause they gonna be sending my shit. I'm gonna take my emissions. I'm like, let me. So I was just like looking because the dealer was gonna charge me like $500 for that shit.
It's not that.
And
hard.
I'm like, what the? Yeah, and I'm looking at
It's
the
a
part.
plug and a fucking bolt.
That's it. That's all it is. That shit crazy.
And it takes 30 minutes, especially for them. Use them probably take about an hour or so. But them, 30 minutes.
I mean, I know exactly where it's at.
I know.
Like,
no, I'm just talking about.
Oh yeah, it's tight
cracking
because
that
it's
bitch.
tight because it's tight to the motherfucker. Yeah.
All right, cool. This is the place where sports opinions collide. Dead in Sports. I'm your host, Kenneth B. Inge. Joining me on the show, you guys know who he is. He's no longer Feefo 2019. He's back to 2020. Today is Feefo on the show.
Yes, sir.
We got BZ4 Third.
What up, though?
Yeah, make sure you guys check out Dead in Gaming. They just finished recording that. So that's why we're a little bit later than we have been for the last couple of weeks. But check them out, man. I was on the show bringing that, that. Well, I ain't gonna even say it. Y'all
Plus,
just
we
gotta
gave them
listen to
3
the
days
show.
in a row. They
Y'all
could
gotta
wait an
listen to the
hour or
show,
two.
man. Y'all gotta listen to the show.
Right, this is 3 days.
No,
in a row.
Yeah. No, they good. They good. I say the things everybody else on the show afraid to say except B. I just put it to you like that.
There you go.
I just put it to you like that. And we got a new face, man. Man, we starting off the year hot.
Yep. 3 days, 2 guests. Two
Two guests. Yep. So we got Shelton from. Tell the people where you're from, man.
Black Korea Podcast. Everywhere you can find podcasts, man. Check us out.
Yep.
Part of the Dead End Network,
Yes,
podcast
sir.
network. So look, it's not just the Mike Stallone. It's not just Dead End Sports. It's not just Dead End Gaming. We got a lot of different podcasts. Black Korea is definitely one of the first ones that we brought on. They've been on the podcast network for close to a year now.
Yeah,
next month will be the first. Will be technically a year. We released in April of 2019, but we started recording February of 2018. I don't know. I'm confused now. But either way,
2019.
Either way, you know what I'm saying. Shelton, Black Korea, glad to have you on, buddy.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I don't know how hot your takes are, but we, our last, Kyle's an OG. Larry was really, really good. So, I've talked sports with you, so I'm glad to have you on the show. So we're gonna start with, we're not gonna bury the lead, and then we're gonna get into some NBA talk. We here mainly because you guys have been asking us for NBA. Mm-hmm. You asked last night. The national championship was last night. That's what we're about to talk about. But more importantly, we're gonna talk about some NBA too. Yep. Because we're a little thirsty for that, and I got some takes that I need to get off. So let's start with this game, man. Shelton, you were not on the show, but you were saying before we started recording that you picked Clemson.
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us your reasons why you picked Clemson?
Well, first off, I'm a South Carolina guy. Let me start from there. Everything for me is Carolina. So the Morant, as y'all know,
Zion,
Jadeveon Clowney, Zion, Clemson, all that stuff is Carolina based. So that's me, and that's where I started. But that's not why I picked them. I picked them because I felt like they had that championship experience. They went against the Giant in Alabama last year. The year before Alabama, knocking off Alabama when every year Alabama is the big bad wolf. I just didn't think that LSU would hold up to the pressure that was put under them from being so successful all year.
Yeah, and I don't think there really was a right or wrong pick before the game.
Right.
I think it for a lot of people probably was a pick'em game. How much of LSU did you watch last year?
Last year, I watched a good little bit of LSU.
So you seen them play? Okay.
Yeah, and I thought that they were good, but nobody could have predicted we were going to be here.
Right at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Right.
And they got, and it's LSU. Now, they're going to always have a strong defense. They always got NFL caliber talent on the field. But to me, this team was an NFL team.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's different.
The way that they wanted to attack,
Yeah.
their schemes,
they ran
quarterback.
They ran New Orleans offense, and it was all ran to perfection all year long.
I think that was one of the things that as I watched them, just what you said, they looked like an NFL team playing in college. And that was the thing that impressed me a lot, that made me feel comfortable with Joe Burrow. Sometimes in college, man, these guys just have these special seasons. There's nothing you can do about it. That don't mean – in Joe Burrow's case, I think it's a little bit different because I think we don't know how good he's going to be, but Trevor Lawrence, we saw it. We knew. We still see it.
Yeah.
In spite of
Only
his
a sophomore.
Yeah.
And Clemson is getting the #1 QB recruit next year coming in.
He already there.
Yeah, well, I'm understanding.
Ain't that crazy?
That's crazy. He's there. So like, you got this guy that's gonna play in his junior year, his final year.
Yeah.
And then once he leaves, you got the #1 guy.
reloaded.
Yeah, they
They
reloaded.
reloaded, yeah.
Because they got pretty much freshmen and sophomore in their squad.
So do y'all think that this was the greatest college football season of all time that Joe Burrow just had?
Like for an individual player?
Yes.
For a quarterback, I think it has to be up there. It definitely has to be up there because you're talking about almost 80% of your completions.
Yes.
Right? Like that's
that
unheard
alone.
of.
60 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
That's ridiculous.
That's up there.
But that only
man,
happens in college.
Yeah, you have to consider it. I mean, it has to be.
Yeah.
I say let me tell you why I say it was the greatest. It was the greatest because he beat 8 ranked teams.
7.
7?
Yeah, one of y'all said that.
7 ranked,
Yeah.
4 in the top 4.
4 in the top 4. That's unheard. That alone.
That's unheard of. And then we've had other college quarterbacks that throw for a little bit more yards, close to the same amount of touchdowns, stuff like that, but never in the SEC, right? Like we're talking about the Pac-10, we're talking about Hawaii, we're talking about Texas Tech, we're talking about schools like that. We're not talking about the junior NFL.
Yeah.
And if you do that in the junior NFL, that's something different.
Yeah.
And every week is a playoff game for them. Every week.
What type of season did Cam Newton have that year when he won a
His-
Heisman?
his
I
was
can't
up
remember his
there.
stats. Yeah,
He didn't throw for a lot of yards though, like that.
he didn't.
Nah, not in college. He wasn't
Because he was running. He was mobile.
He was a mobile
running.
And
quarterback.
Burrow broke the touchdown record this year too. So Cam was up there. It was still an awesome season. It was still incredible. But this dude,
Yeah, mine, if I can, maybe it is 5. I got Cam. I got Vince. Vince Young's year was good.
Vince probably had that game was probably the best finishing game to finish your college career.
yeah, it was.
The way he
It was.
finished his college career
Yeah.
with that game against the juggernaut of USC. Yeah, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Ken. Yeah.
No, you good.
Yeah.
Jameis was another one. He was a freshman
at Florida State.
when he took over.
Yeah.
And, his second year wasn't good, but that first year,
he was.
and I know he's tainted, by a lot of people by this season and his professional career. But let's isolate that for those of you listening that don't like the brother to that first year. He was good. He was right up there with Joe. That's 3. I got give me Deshaun Watson. Y'all notice a trend?
Yeah.
Y'all notice a trend?
Yeah.
All
I noticed-
QBs.
Okay, all right.
I know.
all right.
I noticed a trend.
Oh, the skin color.
Yeah. I noticed a trend. But I noticed.
that,
I know.
Yeah. But I'm gonna put Joe Burrow and up there, and I like Trevor Lawrence's first year. It didn't feel as special to me, but I recognize like his generational talent. Joe Burrow was right up there in the class of the other ones to me.
And like I said, Trevor Lawrence had never been beaten in college.
Mm-hmm.
So
they
that's
said this is his first loss in
years.
I mean, years, because he won a state championship.
High school.
Right.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, he won a state championship. So this is his first taste of defeat.
I forgot a brother, Dwayne Haskins. Yeah.
Get out of here.
I can't put. Yeah.
Get out of here. You know what? That college career sounds a lot like Magic Johnson.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I'm saying?
It does.
Like you just go every year, high school, college, you win, NBA, you win.
Yeah.
You come in the NBA, your rookie year winning, playing all 5 positions. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I think that he, let me say something else about Joe Burrow that mess. First off, let me say this. I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. That was my favorite college quarterback this year.
Wow. Oh, this year. Yeah, he was good this year.
This year, Jalen Hurts was amazing.
He redeemed himself.
And I mean, I'm talking about I watched every OU game this year. Now this dude would run. He was doing every. I thought I saw him pass to himself a couple times. He was just doing so much. I'm like, this dude is crazy. But watching Joe Burrow and the touch he put on just about every pass was perfect. I'm like, and them receivers' routes that they were running was just ridiculous. Them stupid routes. I just couldn't believe how good and polished those guys were.
Yeah,
that was ridiculous.
So let's kind of go to the game a little bit. So Feefo and I, so Dead in Sports, we watched like the first quarter yesterday. Nick left,
sure did.
and then we Feefo and I watched all the way to halftime, right? And I think during the game, if you guys watched live recording, we saw first quarter nerves.
But
defense is getting at it,
but also a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Right. Like they had
From
a lot
both
of
sides.
nervous excitement, energy where it wasn't. Everybody came out and tried to get their best foot forward, right? Like the defense was amped on both sides, the offense was amped on both sides. So it wasn't like a nervousness where it's like, oh well, let me short arm this one. No, they came out there with guns blazing. They just it didn't settle in yet until about midway into the second quarter.
Yeah, especially for LSU. It took them a while to kind of figure out what was going on, and they admitted that. But you saw the experience on Clemson's side.
Yeah.
And especially when they jumped out 17-7, when they scored that first touchdown with Trevor Lawrence. And then we saw Higgins run over somebody, went up 17-7. And I was like, yo, this ain't looking right. I don't know how this is going to go, but LSU better get it together. And then I think Joe Burrow marched right down the field. Because when Feefo and I were here and they were on like the 95-yard line, we were like, oh, they're going to take this all the way. It was like 4 plays. 4 plays. And Joe Burrow came back and struck back, which was huge. Because you had to do that.
Yep.
And burnt that guy.
Yeah, that was a turning point.
Yeah, because the way Clemson came out blitzing Joe Burrow, they stymied what LSU wanted to do. They didn't really figure it out just yet. The one thing that LSU had all game was throwing at number 8.
Yep, which was their best corner.
He ain't look like it.
Yeah.
He ain't look like it.
Yeah, he was getting cooked. And one of the things that Feefo said as we were watching just LSU go on that Chief-esque type run, 35-8 scoring run from when they were down 17-7. He said if they score,
it's a wrap.
Going into halftime, it's a wrap.
Yeah,
they did that,
and it almost didn't feel like it because Clemson came back and scored, but it didn't matter. Like when you looked at the game, you just saw like Dabo didn't even sound confident to have. Yeah, he was like
he only said like 2 things.
Yeah, the only thing he could say was cliche stuff. He was like, "Yeah, we just got to play hard. We just execute better. We just got to stay composed." He referred to that pass interference like twice because he knew that was a key point in the game for them because they needed to get a stop.
It was 3rd-and-19.
Now let me say that about that was a huge play. That cornerback is from my hometown. He's from Rock Hill, South Carolina, by the way. Talk about Rock Hill all the time, but he actually was switching positions. DK was he's a sophomore. He was a quarterback in college. He played wide receiver last year, and this year he's starting at corner on the biggest stage. So he took a lot of heat, and I'm like, man, give him a second to settle in and get his feet. He's gonna be an awesome corner. But this game, it was just a mismatch. We just didn't have the bodies to stick with him. Well, I'm saying we as Clemson. They didn't have the bodies to stick with him. And then a big play was when I don't know the middle linebacker's name, but he got called for targeting. And what people didn't know was he was making all the calls. at the line, he was making all these calls. So these blitzes were coming from him. And when he came out,
the guy that got hit for targeting, right?
yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I thought that was poetic justice. And the reason why I say that was when Wade for OSU got kicked out of that game in Clemson.
Yeah.
Everybody that watched that game know
that was the turning point. That was the turning point.
Yeah, it was.
Yep, and they scored twice after that happened because they were stopped.
Yeah,
that was it. They were about to get the ball back to OSU, and who knows what was going to happen.
Right.
So it felt poetic to me. It's when you lose a guy like that and you're already reeling defensively because you knowing this guy's throwing all over.
Right. They were back on the heels.
Yep.
And then they lost their captain. So that was it. That was the end of that.
Yep. My favorite part was when Joe Burrow was coming out the game after he scored that touchdown. He started pointing to his ring finger.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
And at that
Get
point,
it ready.
like I said,
Get it ready.
That's when I succeeded. I was like, man, he deserved it though, because this dude was dropping dimes. Because we talked about the corner number 8 too. Man, those were perfect passes.
No, it
wasn't like he was right there.
Well, on a couple of them, he was right there.
Yeah.
On a couple. But some of them, he got burnt.
Yeah, he did. Now, he got burned a couple times, but a couple of those touchdown passes, dude was in his hip pocket. He was where you're supposed to be defensively. It was just the pass was so perfect.
But you know what? But it was also coverage as well. Like I called out Clemson a lot, right? Like, so when they started the game, they were putting heat on Joe Burrow. They were dialing up a lot of blitzes. They were actually speeding up Joe Burrow, right? But once Joe Burrow had a little bit of time and you were playing man with no safety help, they were getting beat. And my thing was, especially number one, Chase, the wide receiver for LSU.
Yeah.
I think at the half or right at the beginning of the third quarter, he had 6 catches for like 200 and some yards and a touch or two. Yo, hey, we got to take that man out of the game. You got to put a safety and a corner on him. Like, you can't allow for one person to continually beat you in the same way that they were beating you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think Clemson could have did a little bit something better on the back end of that defense because they were man-to-man across the board. And even LSU had to call a couple of timeouts because I don't know what type of offense play that they had called, but they were like, nah, like there's literally nobody back here. Everybody's across the line. You know what I'm saying? So you know they're coming. You know that they're playing man up. They're jamming wide receiver. So my thing with Clemson or that game, it felt like this. It felt like 2 heavyweights coming in. Yeah. Right? They were all throwing haymakers, and one just outlasted the other.
Yeah.
That's what it felt
and
like.
They didn't make many adjustments. Like you said, like, you know, at first, you know, Brent Venables is an awesome defensive coordinator. They started the game perfect.
But that was it though.
Yeah,
like that's all they had, and it's like, and if they could have just kept them down, you know, I think they could have. But they were down double digits. Like
that 3rd and 19 was huge, though.
Huge.
That was a huge play in this game.
It was, and that quarterback draw. But you wasn't here, but I've been saying this. I said it in the group chat. I've been saying it on air. These white quarterbacks, I know they be hating me in the chat for this. Them boys gonna start running, man.
They're gonna have to.
Yeah. They're gonna start running.
They're gonna have to.
It's the evolution of the QB position.
They have to.
It's the evolution of the QB position.
Yeah. I got 2 more things, and we can hit anything else that if you guys want. But I think the lack of quality opponents for Clemson came back to bite them. They looked outclassed and outmatched last night. But one thing and the reason why Feefo picked him is mainly Trevor Lawrence. And I'm gonna add on to that Dabo Sweeney and kind of going back to what you were saying in the experience. Trevor, he looked lost.
He did,
or sped up, because I've seen him under pressure before. But 13 overthrows.
Yeah,
he was
high.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. That's something I was gonna make a point about. He was throwing a lot of high balls, and that's nervousness. That's nerves.
Was that or was it? Oh shit! I've never seen this type of like I never seen.
I think it was a little bit of both. I think that they hit him in the mouth, and I think he just wasn't used to that kind of pressure.
Yeah. And a couple of them were just errant. You know what I'm saying? We're human at the end of the day. Every throw ain't gonna be perfect.
Right.
I think there was one that he rolled out to the left. He squared his shoulders, but when he threw it, it sailed on him. You know what I'm saying? So he had a couple like that. He almost got his boy knocked out the game. Remember when we was watching that?
Yeah.
And the wide receiver jumped up with one hand, could barely, and he got up there. Yeah. Safety came and hit him in his back, and he all the wind got knocked out of him.
But they like I said, they weren't getting open like that either.
They
corners were step
and
for step.
They're not they were. Those type of corners. That's what Ryan Clark was saying. This is not me. I didn't play the game. I'm listening to him. He said they're 50-50 guys.
Mm-hmm. LSU's corners?
I'm sorry,
corners?
I meant the receivers. The
receivers.
Yeah.
That's why they really couldn't get over. When you're playing lower competition, then you're going to burn those guys all day. Mm-hmm. But when you're playing guys that are as talented or you're an NFL caliber talent, then you got to be able to run routes. You got to be able to get some type of separation. They couldn't do that.
They couldn't.
And if you can't do that, then it's up to the OC to be able to scheme these guys open, and that's what we saw on LSU side. Mm-hmm. You got a couple of guys getting beat, but after that, once they kind of pulled back, adjusted their defense, they started running those crossing routes and those slants. Mm-hmm. And then now it's like they coming at you from every single direction. And then Joe Burrow will take off for 10 yards. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck you going to – I mean, what are you going to do?
No, he also had almost a 30-yard, 29-yard run. Mm-hmm. I think it was also on the third down conversion. That was huge for them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but do you feel any differently, Feefo, about Trevor Lawrence?
No.
Me
because it's one game. Yeah. And even though it's the championship game, even though he threw high, he looked a little sped up. I'm not going to say like they sped him all the way up, but he didn't look comfortable. That's one game. I'm going to take the body of work.
He's going to be the Heisman favorite easily going into next year.
And he's going to be the number one pick.
And he's coming back with the vengeance.
100%.
Because he probably don't like how that L tastes. It's his first time tasting that in a long time.
It's somebody else in that Heisman race next year. They were saying he's actually second favorite. Who else could it be?
Really? I would think he would be
Justin
a favorite.
Fields?
Justin Fields.
Yeah.
That's the Heisman favorite. Justin Fields is the Heisman favorite.
What team he play for?
Ohio State.
B don't, You feel any differently about Lawrence?
That's yet to be determined. And let me tell you why I say that. He's never been beaten before. So we don't know how he's going to react coming out of this. Hopefully he goes back to the gym, work his butt off, and come back a killer next year. Because Trevor, to be honest, I watched all the Clemson games this year too. Trevor was not that good this year always.
He wasn't.
He started off slow. He kicked himself out of the Heisman race those first 3 or 4 games. It was
he did.
Yeah, he just was out there.
He turned it up though. He turned it up when they needed him to.
He did.
Toward the end of
when they had that close call.
Yeah, with Carolina game. Yeah. He's all-world player and deserves all the accolades he gets. But once again, like I said, I just think that he played down to the level of competition.
Yeah.
And it hurt him.
And I forgot what the hell I was watching, but they were talking about college basketball players or just basketball players in general. And you know me, once you're an athlete, you're an athlete. And to me, certain things, it translates regardless of the sport.
Yes.
And I think that sometimes when you're that talented, you do play down, but you also get a little bored. And I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence is bored, but like me and you agreed yesterday, he could have went to the NFL after his sophomore year. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was that ready.
He was that ready.
Yes.
So I think that it is just a little bit of complacency, a little bit of just being bored because he knows he's ready for the next level. Mm-hmm. And I think that the L will help him to be like, okay, y'all thought I was playing. Yeah. Let me come out here and show y'all the real deal.
That's what I hope happens for him because I want him to do go after Joe Burrow's records now.
100%.
Yeah. So
there's a I will not say it's a disturbing trend, but there is a trend that's developing that I've seen from these freshmen, guys like Winston and Lawrence and Sam Darnold. I think he was freshman when he started. Their second seasons, they're not that good. Mm-hmm. They always regress. Yeah. And it's a negative regression, not a positive regression that we've seen. You said it with Sunshine, and we've seen it with Jameis Winston, and we saw it with Sam Darnold.
Right.
Like these guys, I think, and maybe it's what you're saying, like when they feel like they're ready and they got to come back and play another year of college football, it's like, especially if they wanted, well, Sam didn't, but the other two guys have. It's like, why am I
It's a couple things to that, though. It's a couple things. Even looking at how the progression of Burrow, for example. Mm-hmm. These guys come in, man, and they come in with all heralded. They come in with all these accolades and all this stuff, like we said. They go out there, they have a killer season as a freshman. Secondly, they come back, and just like any other sport, just like we talk about in the NFL and any other sport,
got tape.
You got tape now. We got stuff to look at, so we can scheme towards these things.
I've been preaching that.
Yeah. So we got all summer, especially that first, second game. We got all summer to work on this stuff and to scheme and game plan for this game. This is our Super Bowl. This is our playoff. So that happens to them. Plus the fact that their coordinators may not be. These are kids, and they're not adults all the way yet. So they're not focused. Like he should be NFL minded now.
Yep.
He should have been then. But they got school, and we forget about that stuff too. These kids got exams, real life problems to go along with that stuff. So I think that contributes to it too.
All right. I know y'all been asking. I saw somebody was like, "Bruh, football." We had to recap the national championship.
Yeah, we had to. Come on now.
And we're gonna get into the basketball, and I want you guys to start thinking about two things: your top 5 rookies of the year up to this point, and your top 5 teams in the NBA up to this point. We're gonna ask that. I'm gonna ask that a little bit later. So we're gonna get into basketball, but I want to give Shelton a moment to speak on the retirement of Luke.
Speaking of that,
I've seen people mention that in the chats, and
retirement of who?
Luke Koechly
he retired
today.
linebacker.
Oh,
Carolina.
Yeah.
And speaking of, and
that hurt.
Shout out to Marshawn Lynch, protect your chicken, because what I've noticed
That was dope. Yeah.
What I've noticed. And the retirement ages have been far like under 30 or around 30. Luke retired at the age of 28. Andrew Luck retired at the age of 29. Rob Gronkowski, if he's still retired, 29. Patrick Willis, 30. And Calvin Johnson, 30.
Take care of your chicken.
So take care of your chicken, man. So
That's
like
it.
if you want to leave with your health still intact and your money and your bread still fat,
your
money, everything, you good.
your physical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And Antonio, but he was older though. But Antonio Gates, Detroit's finest, retired today too.
He did.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
And those guys, every guy you mentioned, there's a common thread among those guys. Those were all smart football players, if you notice too.
Yep.
All those guys were like mentally put together.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that all of them took care of themselves financially before making those announcements. You ain't leave all that money on the table without having your future set.
Right.
These guys are set. Now Luke hurts me to the core. Antonio Gates, it was time, and
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, yeah, he's
and
like
he gets his flowers
39,
now. Like
yeah.
you said, first ballot.
Yeah.
He the man.
Yeah,
Most TDs out of any
tight end.
Tight end. He was a beast. Luke though, that hurt me because it came from left field. I'm sure the team probably had a little.
Just like Andrew Luck.
It was Andrew Luck.
Just like Barry Sanders.
It was left field. And the thing
Calvin?
about the parallel is he's our defensive quarterback. So I'm a Carolina Panther.
You lost a lot.
Yeah,
you lost a lot.
We lost a lot.
It wasn't just a great player. The reason why that defense was even viable was because of him.
Everything good that happened, he was involved in
Yep.
on that team.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I said he's gonna make a hell of a coach one day, which will probably be this year. But losing him, those concussions, if you're a Carolina fan, you know about Dan Morgan. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Dan Morgan. He went to University of Miami, but he played at Carolina too. He was an awesome linebacker.
Oh, he went to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Another white linebacker. He was a middle linebacker that was dope. He was killing it. But he concussion prone and ended his career early. Same thing. The same path.
Yeah.
He wasn't as good as Luke, but he was a damn good player.
Yeah.
So, when I saw this, I'm not surprised because he did, he had a couple dings in that head a couple times, and I'm not shocked.
Do he got a wife and everything, kids and stuff?
He's married, but I don't know if he got kids or not.
Okay.
But,
sometimes that can be a reason too.
It can be. And with him, like I said,
I got my children.
Yeah, he's had about 2 or 3 concussions, and he's missed several games from concussions. He missed, I think, almost half a season a couple years ago, and
especially with all this CTE stuff, it's just like
that was a shock, and that hurt.
Yeah,
that hurt, and that's gonna hurt not just Carolina but football. Yeah. So,
but I mean, as a fan, it can hurt when the player that especially if a team that you've been following, and the player retires. But at the end of the day, it's like if you happy and you can leave with your health intact, that's more important in football, man. You know what I'm saying? Like just from person to person, But I feel you because I was like that when Barry Sanders retired. I was like, why? But
that was another one.
At the end of the day, I was like, look. If this is his decision, he want to be with his family, and our front office is shit, and he don't want to sacrifice his body.
You think that's what it was, though?
Yeah.
I would
same way with Calvin Johnson.
I get it with Calvin Johnson.
Our front office been shit.
With Barry though,
front
to
office.
quit that close to being at the top though,
front office.
I think I would have been able to put up with. I like, okay, give me a couple more checks. Let me break this record, and then tell y'all to kiss my ass at the end.
Yeah, but he want to get his health intact, so more power to him.
Somebody that should have took care of their mentals, Antonio Brown.
Oh my gosh,
that video was cringeworthy, man. That shit. I
didn't even watch it. I didn't even want to watch it.
Dog, it was so sad, man.
Thankful that you
Jesus,
did, man.
yeah,
man. It's
you ain't missing nothing, man. That shit is cringeworthy.
At this point, it's
I hope he gets some help. I hope he gets some help. Yeah,
somebody got to step in, man, because he's on the
wrong path.
Yeah,
he's on the wrong path.
And I was watching something today, and they were telling the truth about it. They were saying how he's doing it. He's filming this stuff. It ain't like He's writing his own narrative.
It's not no one. It's not like anyone catching him.
Yeah,
He's literally posting this stuff, going live on his damn
Yeah,
dude,
like
really?
like, and I'm thinking like, who you thinking you make look bad? Like,
right.
it's you.
But you know what's crazy about all this stuff and with his talent, he would get in the NFL before Colin Kaepernick.
He done though.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying he's done. But like,
he would get the opportunity.
He would still get an opportunity before Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, without this last one, he still would have gotten an opportunity.
Yeah, you're right.
This was the final straw.
This was it. Teams are like,
yeah, that was it right there. There's no way nobody would touch him now with 10-foot pole. That's a whole other. But like you said, he lasted longer than Colin did, which is crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Because they want to control you. That's all. Mm-hmm. They can control him.
Yeah, he got that.
I think it's something with the initials AB that just make you be kind of like a little off.
It was VB that did it to him. Vontez Burfict.
Oh my gosh,
that's the one that did it to him.
That's what happened, wasn't it? That hit. Yeah. That's when it all went left.
Hey,
that's when it started.
That's when it went left.
Like.
It created a whole new guy.
I don't even know how he got up.
He changed Antonio Brown into a whole new person.
I saw his soul leave.
His soul went out and somebody else came in.
What hit was this again?
Oh yeah! Oh my god!
Playoffs.
Yeah.
It was a playoff game. AB was coming down that middle.
I don't think I've ever seen a hit that bad in my life.
It was Vontez Burfict.
Look at Antonio Brown hit by Vontez.
Vontez. Burfict.
Burfict.
Fict.
You found it?
Vontez.
Yep, I found it.
Okay.
Just look at that hit.
Yeah.
It'll change your life. Real speed, real game time. It changed my life. I was like, "There's no way that this man."
Yeah, it was a different person that got up when. That was a different person that got up after this. That wasn't Antonio that got up. Yeah. That was somebody else.
Oh, he died right there.
Yeah.
Oh, he laid out there for a second.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was shocked that he even got up. Let alone played again. Because I used to always think of how small he was. He was never a big guy. Antonio's not a big dude.
And I'm surprised that they allowed Vontez Burfict to keep playing after all these hits. Because that wasn't the first and it wasn't the last.
No. I mean, they suspended for a year this time, but.
All right. Now, let's do it.
Football's over.
Let's do it.
Except for the NFL.
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
We'll be back to the NFL stuff, but we about to jump into
Y'all
the
talking
NBA.
about? Oh, never mind.
So we got people in the chat talking about they should trade Embiid. Kyrie came back.
Let's start with the Embiid thing. Let's start because there's a lot of trade rumors around Philly and everything. And here's the thing. So when Nick isn't here, so I'm not going to jump on all of his takes. But here's the thing. I do believe at this point, and I told him that he was somewhat right. At this point, I definitely think that Elton Brand and that 76ers brass got to make a decision. They do. They got to make a decision because Ben Simmons has worked on the jumper, but he's not taking the jumper. We've seen it. We've seen video evidence that he is a much better shooter than what he was his first year. Now, I'm not calling him Kyle Korver. I'm not calling him J.J. Redick. I'm not saying he's a knockdown guy, but he can make it now. But he's not doing it. So that's not a skill thing. That's a will thing.
Yes.
Right. Yep. And if we're asking you to do something for the betterment of the team and you're not doing it, that's an issue. Yes. So with that issue, now we got to make a decision. And I think that me personally, I like Ben Simmons and I would rather keep Ben Simmons. But if I look at Philly and how they're constructed right now, it's easier to move on with Embiid than it is with Simmons. Because with Simmons, he's a point forward, meaning that you're one guy, you're two guy, you're three guys. They got to be able to knock down threes a la the Golden State Warriors. When you look at Draymond, right, when you put him in pick and roll situations and now he gets the ball because you got a point guard that you got to guard 30 feet out and now it's a 3-on-2 situation, his IQ is impeccable. He can make the right play. He can finish at the basket, which is the same thing Ben Simmons can do. Philly is not constructed that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Ben Simmons wants to push the pace. When Ben Simmons plays without Joel Embiid, Philly plays at one of the fastest paces in the league. But they're not constructed to consistently keep that. Right? So you're talking about a whole roster turnover if you want to build around Ben Simmons the way that they're constructed right now. So to me, the guy that you have to get rid of is Ben Simmons just because of how you're constructed right now.
Why would you do it right now? We're not playing the long game anymore?
Well, here's the thing. The Ben Simmons drew the line in the sand when he's saying that I'm not going to attempt shots.
I'd like to know why though.
Yeah,
let me
confidence shot or something.
I think
no,
well,
it's not about confidence.
It's not about that. I'm a Philly fan. Basketball. Sixers are one of my squads. Well, my squad. And the reason being is I'm the biggest Ben Simmons fan there is, which is funny. But even in college, he kind of held back. He's one of those players who kind of just want to fly under the radar.
He just want to do what he knows he can do.
Yeah, and he's really not stepping outside of his box. Because I'm like, man, you the most dominant player in this game right now. There's no way you should have 50. You know what I'm saying? He's that kind of talent.
He should average 22. 16, 18 is below him.
Yes,
it's below his talent level.
And he's honestly good enough to average a triple double. And I watch him rebound, and I'm thinking, who is telling this boy not to jump and get these rebounds? Because he just stand there and kind of look at the ball like he has the whole mentality of a 5'11" guard.
He does
without the shot.
I just want to dribble and pass.
Yeah, he's Muggsy Bogues.
Pretty
a
much.
6'10" Muggsy Bogues.
In a 6'10" body.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And I'm like, what is he doing?
Shit, even Muggsy was shooting that thing.
Yeah, even he was shooting from the free throw line. He would pull up from from the elbow. He won't even pull up and do. I just don't get it. But my question to you is this: how would you said you rather build around Ben Simmons though? I mean, not Ben Simmons. I mean, Joel Embiid.
The way that Philly is constructed, me personally as a GM, if salaries weren't a thing, if we didn't have to worry about trying to get new players and this that, I would pick Ben Simmons over Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking at the real life situation right now in Philly, it's easier to say, okay, let's move Ben Simmons, let's get a real point guard. Because there's been a rumor of D'Angelo Russell for Ben Simmons.
Yeah, and that would suck.
Not really, because I think it helps both squads, right? Obviously, Golden State would have to make another subsequent trade because Draymond and Ben Simmons are the same guy.
The same thing.
So obviously they got to move on from Draymond if you make that Ben Simmons move. But for Philly, now you get a point guard that can run the show, but is not unwilling to shoot threes when the ball gets kicked out.
He will, but he won't play no defense though.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Come on, Shelton. We know that we can hide at least 2 players on defense at any given time, especially when you got a monster like that, like Joel Embiid, that can go out on the perimeter and guard guys like Giannis. Like we've seen that consistently. So it's not like it's just a fluky type of thing. Nah, if Joel Embiid gets switched out on the perimeter, he can guard most guys out there. Yeah. So because of that, that's the reason why I'm like, okay, I'm okay with Ben going, even though, again, if I had to pick one or the other, I would pick Ben. Because I think Ben's ceiling is higher. I don't have to worry about the injuries as much as Joel Embiid.
That's the key. And that's what I was going to say. Joel Embiid is not going to give me 82 games at no point in his career. He may not even give me 41 after this year. And that was the fear in the beginning, and it's my fear towards the end. I just don't think I think he's at his ceiling. I think he's amazing. He's an amazing talent. I just don't think we'll ever get maximum reward from him. I don't think we'll ever get a full season out of this guy. But I hate that.
But you know what, though? I think even if we don't get 82 games from a Joel Embiid, to me, a healthy season for most guys is 70-plus games. And I think
60.
65. If he can give you 65 and between 65 and 70 games, that's a good year. That's a really good year. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's not about chasing 72-10. It's not about chasing the best regular season record. It's not about chasing the first seed, the second seed in the playoffs. It's about getting in the playoffs with a good enough position. Right. You know what I'm saying? Get me to the dance. Let me get at least one, first round or at least a home series there. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if you don't win a championship, you got to win on the road.
Yeah.
So for me, as long as Joel Embiid can play 65 to 70 games and be healthy for the playoffs, I'm good with that.
And I think that's true. But another thing you said too that's true is, I think, well, you didn't say this necessarily, but Elton Brand did mess them up because that team that they had was a good team.
With Butler and Tobias.
Yeah.
No. With Robert Covington, Dario Saric,
and JJ Redick. Yep. That team with Ben and Joel Embiid was amazing because he had the shooters around.
He had more shooters.
He had 3 shooters.
JJ Redick was getting them
looks. Yeah, those
100.
3. That starting 5 would have been the best 5 in the league because you got Dario who could pull out there. He was a stretch forward that could really shoot the ball. Robert Covington could guard anybody and shoot the ball. JJ, the best shooter in the game. Outside of
Joe Harris.
Yeah.
Joe Harris shooting 50% from threes.
So. And Steph.
And Clay.
Yeah.
And Bogdanovich.
But he's in that.
Exactly. He's in the top 10. He's in the top 10.
Yeah. All time.
You know what? And I was telling B yesterday. I was telling, Dennis Sports the other day that there's shooters in the NBA, regardless of whatever other player you can have LeBron James on your team.
Right.
And I'm guarding this shooter. I'm just looking at you like this, bro. I'm not going nowhere.
Not going nowhere.
And he's one of those guys.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. So that team to me was better. This year when they put this team out there, I was like, man, I don't like how that looked. They just slowed the game down because you added Al Horford. And I'm thinking, how does he fit in there other than cases like now when Joel Embiid is hurt? Because he ain't no 4. He ain't been no 4 since he played with the Hawks.
He said that. He came out and said that he's more of a 5 than a 4.
And I don't understand the thinking behind it. Like, that's duplication.
But at the same time, Al Horford decided to go there as well. It's not like they traded for him. He signed there as a free agent. But
I'm saying, why would they do that? They could have gotten. You could have got a couple of other players.
But that's Joel Embiid insurance too.
That's what I'm saying. That's really the only thing that's how I look at it. I think that's the reason why you make that move. But like I said, I would have tried to figure out a way. I would never let go of. Well, I guess to get Jimmy Butler, you give up those guys. But losing those guys, even when they brought in Jimmy Butler, that hurt me because I was like, "There's no way we win no championship with their roster the way it was last year." I just didn't think it was possible. Even if they had gotten by Toronto, I don't think they could have beaten anybody.
Milwaukee.
Golden State, or Milwaukee.
You mean?
Well, I think they could have beat a depleted Golden State team, not a healthy Golden State team.
The same way Toronto did. I would keep both. I think the window is a few years. I think I would look at organizational changes. I would look at Brett Brown. I like Ben Simmons' talent. I think you have to be patient with him, but also think it's leadership, man. And if he comes out as he has and say, why do I need to shoot when I can do everything else well, then that's, for me, an indication of leadership. That comes from up top. You are not getting through him to get him to take those shots. When Embiid is out there criticizing them for the same thing. Now, if you want to trade him to create unity in the locker room, that's different. But if you think you can win now, this year meaning, then yeah, you do it. But I think it's a downgrade if you go from Ben Simmons to D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell doesn't impact teams in a winning way.
Right. But here's the thing though. For the situation, he fits better. And I agree with you if you're looking for player, obviously Ben Simmons, he's a better player. He has things that you can't teach. You can't teach 6'10". You can't teach the court vision he has. But let's not look. D'Angelo Russell got court vision too. It's not. I would say I put him in the same category, but Ben is a higher tier of that has vision, right? But at the end of the day, if I'm a GM and I have to put the best product on the floor that meshes together, D'Angelo Russell's a better fit. And also, you got to think that you're going to get more in return too because of the talent difference. Because Ben Simmons is a better talent, you got to give me a player or two plus a pick or something. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Once again, though, Golden State don't really have much to give though, as far as that's concerned.
Well, they got a couple of young players that, you know what I'm saying, that I might be able to poach, or you might have to get a third team involved.
That would probably be the only way. But I'm thinking like I don't see. I would be me as a GM. I think I'd be scared to pull the trigger because what if Ben Simmons wakes up tomorrow and say, you know what, I'm about to ready to play ball now. Like if he wakes up tomorrow and says, I want to be the greatest basketball player in the world, he has that type of ability to do that.
What happens if he turns into Giannis?
And then here's the thing too. So a lot of this trade talk between D'Angelo Russell and Ben Simmons is very premature for one reason, the money. Ben Simmons' extension hasn't kicked in yet. He's still getting paid rookie money today, where D'Angelo Russell got paid last year, so he's making big-time money now. Yeah. So you would have to wait until the summer when Ben Simmons' extension kicks in and the money matches up. So you wouldn't be able to make that trade right now this season. So it would be an off-season thing. And then the beautiful thing about making off-season NBA trades is that the money doesn't always have to match up equally. Yeah. So you can get a third team involved more that'll be better for Philly. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that can happen. But I think the rest of this season, the way it plays out, it's all on Ben. It's all on Ben.
It is.
And I think that Ben does have somewhat of a resistance to Joel Embiid. I don't think they're peanut butter and jelly, as Jalen Rose said. They're just not. You watch them on the court, they should flow better, and they don't.
Yeah.
They should. I looked it up too. Joel Embiid he averaged about 63. He played in 2016. He played 31 games, 17, 63, 18, 64.
So about like what Kawhi
19,
doing?
31. Yeah. So they playing about 60. Like I said, about 60, 65 games a year is what you're gonna get out of him.
Yeah.
So
hey, that's good though. But that's also why I will be reluctant to trade Ben.
I would.
But anyway.
Wait, hold on. Let's not move off of it. I know Nick is in here, and remember the conversation that we were having in terms of Joel Embiid's comparable, and who was that?
Hakeem,
yes.
All right, so I'm gonna give you 2 sets of numbers, and you're gonna tell me who's who.
Just the blindfold test.
A little bit. So if I told you 22.8. 22.8 points, 12.1 rebounds, and 2.1 assists. This is both year 4 for both players. Who would you think that is? Is that Hakeem or is that Joel?
That
sounds like Joel, right?
That's Joel.
That's Hakeem. So Hakeem scored 22.8 points, 12.1 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game year 4. Joel Embiid's numbers year 4, 23.4 points, 12.3 rebounds, and 3.3 assists.
Oh, wow.
So very close, but Joel is a little bit better across the board. So I don't want to hear that no more.
Well,
But if you look at year 4, how many games was Hakeem counted
Played?
on for? Yeah, and I'm saying that because, like I said, he's just more dependable. That 18 to 20 games could make the difference in being in first place, second place.
From Africa though.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
They eat so different.
He played
they
82.
Stay healthy.
So he played. Wait, hold on. Let me see. No, I'm messing up. He played 79
Oh, Joel's
games.
from Africa.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They both African. The Cameroon.
My bad, y'all.
But yeah, Hakeem played 82 games in his rookie year, and then his 4th year he played 79 games, and then the next 2 years, the 5th and 6th year, he played 82 games. However, the 7th year he only played 56, and then he played 82 one more time. Yeah. So Hakeem has been more healthy, and when I look at some of these, his lowest year was 44 games.
Yeah, so Joel doesn't stay in shape either, man. That's a big thing for him. He never comes in shape, and I don't get that.
Shaq was the same way, man.
I just don't get it though, man. I don't understand how.
All you got to do is just be in shape.
Yeah,
and play sports.
If you tell me, like we talked about Trevor Lawrence, and like we talk about a lot of these athletes, if you tell me that this is all I got to do, I'm gonna make all this money, and I'm gonna break all these records, and I'm gonna make all I got to do is train for this and treat this like it's my lifestyle. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I can do all this other stuff when I'm done playing, but I'm finna get the best 5 to 7 years you could ever get out of me. You know what I'm saying?
Because it maximizes your money too.
Yes,
like
I don't
your
get it.
health and everything is tied to your money that you make. So
Well, we got a lot of questions in the chat.
Okay.
Some pretty good ones too. Daryl Brown, do y'all see Cat getting traded soon?
possible.
Yeah,
He
it
seems
looks
like
like
he's
it.
unhappy there.
And that's the reason you're gonna see him traded too, because I don't think he wants to be there.
Yeah.
And they probably need some new blood, and they ain't winning no games in Minnesota. No way.
You know what?
They only went to the playoffs once since him and Wiggins been there. And that's
Well,
crazy because him and Wiggins.
because of Jimmy.
Yeah, and him
They made it because of Jimmy.
Yeah, and him and Wiggins they was having a good year together this year. So
it's
yeah,
really Wiggins that should go. To be honest, that's
But at the end of the day, it's all about trade value.
they're not gonna get the value for him.
Exactly.
Right.
Who wants to take on that?
They can give value for Cat.
Exactly.
They can.
Because Wiggins has a max contract and he's nowhere near a max player.
Right.
So who's going to take that on?
Yeah, that's
Is he a bust?
Yes, I would say
What's
so.
a bust though?
Exactly.
Like,
Because of draft capital of where you took him and the production that you get,
Yes.
you have an argument for a bust, but he's not a bust because he is a very productive
Yeah,
player.
he's
Yeah,
putting
he's
up
still-
numbers.
For me though,
bust is when you don't even. I don't even need you no more.
Yeah, I guess
you
that.
know what I'm saying.
I think you're right. Bust is a bust.
yeah.
Underachiever is
Like,
what he is.
Jamarcus
Jamarcus Russell. I don't need you. Like
Yes,
that's a bust.
that was
you know
a
what I'm
bust.
saying?
Yeah.
So,
He's an underachiever.
Exactly.
no,
because
that's
he-
a more
Because would you say that Marvin Williams was a bust?
I don't know if
no,
he- I
he
don't-
just was drafted
I
in the
don't
wrong
think
place.
he's an underachiever. I just think he doesn't impact teams in a winning way. He puts
But
up
where
the
he
numbers.
was like people said, where he was drafted at.
Yeah,
No. Wait.
I
hold
think
on.
no, he's underachiever because his ceiling was a lot higher than what he did. I mean,
Based off where he
he
drafted,
put numbers
yeah.
up just because he can.
I think he just don't get a lot of peripheral numbers like assists, steals, blocks, et cetera, et cetera. But his scoring is off the chart, ain't it?
Like 17 points a game.
Yeah, he
Since when?
look up Andrew Wiggins.
Since
numbers.
when?
Look at Andrew Wiggins. Hold
Andrew
on,
Wiggins
let me
stats.
Let me look.
I'm pulling it up. Hold on.
I'm already in basketball reference.
Can't get in Swift with it.
Nah, he putting up 23, 5, and 3
this season. This
season. Yeah. Okay. Oh, well, let's look at the last season. Hold on.
18, 17 the year before, 23 the year before that, 20 the year before that. But here's the thing. Like, we talk about impact, right? And I'm pretty sure, I know Basketball Reference doesn't have this stat, but if you look at win shares, his win shares ain't up there. And then look at he just.
But that's what I was saying. Like, he's putting up numbers and they're not impacting the winning part of it.
Mm-hmm. But he's not a buzz. I didn't say he was a buzz.
Yeah. I still think he was an underachiever.
I just don't. I mean, like I said, when you look at, he should be a perennial all-star.
Winning, though.
But let me ask you this. All right,
Kyrie didn't impact winning a lot.
100%. 100%. But let's look at it from this perspective, Ken. We all at this basketball table. Everybody at this table has played basketball at some point in time. Mm-hmm. If you see Wiggins, does he instill fear in you when you have to guard him?
No.
I'm not worried about him.
That's not a circle matchup.
Exactly. Even though Kyrie doesn't impact winning, if I got a guy that got,
yeah, you know what he gonna do. You know what he gonna do.
That's the difference. That's the difference.
Mike Conley in Utah. So Deuce said Mike Conley is hustling Utah.
He is.
And Victor Franklin said we need a convo about Mike Conley.
Mike Conley has been hustling teams since he's been in the league.
Not really.
No, I think so. He was good in Memphis.
Yeah,
I think
he traded to Utah?
Yeah, he was traded.
Yeah, traded because that's why they got more. Yeah,
he's always been solid to
be
me.
There.
I think he's always been solid, but I don't think he's ever been the type of player that should get that money that he got.
Yeah, no. When he got that contract, I was scratching my head.
Memphis?
Yeah, because it's like, look, first of all,
I said, is his dad his agent?
Yeah.
Because he was LeBron's agent at first, right?
No. He was Greg Oden's agent, too. Because they remember they went to college together.
They went to college together at Ohio State.
Ohio State. My thing with, what's his name again?
Mike Conley?
Mike Conley.
Yeah.
My thing with Mike Conley and the money that he got was he was deserving of money, but he wasn't deserving of being the highest paid point guard in the league
at all.
Because you don't impact it. Now he impacts the game, but he's definitely one of those guys that need more guys around him.
Yeah, he was
great.
solid, but he wasn't great.
Exactly, because my thing is this: if you're gonna pay a point guard top money, even if the rest of your roster is second tier, you should be vying for a playoff position.
Yes.
And when Mike Conley didn't have Marc Gasol, or really that was the only other offensive weapon that they had, Zebo. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If one of those guys were out, they look like a lottery team. And as a point guard, you cannot allow that. And he allowed that. And here's the thing. Mike Conley didn't make the All-Star teams because the West was loaded. I get it. And he was solid. And I think for a period in time, he was underrated. Now he's overrated simply because of that contract. Yeah. It's still he's still one of the highest paid point guard in the league. He's not worth it at all.
Yeah, disappointing. I thought him and Mitch was going to kind of be a nice.
Of course, on paper it looks nice. But let me give y'all a little caveat. Since Utah has traded for who's the guy that was in Cleveland? He played for LA. Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah,
they're undefeated.
I know they were undefeated.
They traded Clarkson for Deontay Exum.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. Since they traded for Jordan Clarkson, they're undefeated.
Who would Darryl Bryan? Who would y'all take? And this could be yes or no. We don't have to expound on much because there's a lot of questions here. Ja Morant or Trae Young?
Ja.
You can't go wrong. I'm gonna go with Trae.
Ja. Why would you go with Trae?
I say Ja too, just because defensively he's a little. Overall, defensively he's a little better. He's better. Trae Young don't play no defense.
Yeah, and physically he got something over Trae. The reason
that's why I'm picking Ja.
The reason why I'm picking Trae is just because of the extension of the defense and the pressure that he puts on the defense once he gets past half court.
Yes, Trae is remarkable, but I don't know how he's going to hold up injury wise too.
He'll hold up. Give me Ja.
He'll be fine.
Give me Ja.
Yeah, that's cool. It's not a wrong.
It's not.
Do the Bucks need to make a move?
Yes.
Avery Hutchins asked.
Yes.
What kind of move you think they should make?
A point guard?
I think they need to move on from Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe.
Eric Bledsoe.
Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah.
Eric Bledsoe.
Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah.
They got to move on from Eric Bledsoe.
And get who?
I don't. At this
Mike
point,
Conley.
Mike Conley, freaking Dante Exum. At this point, I don't think he's valuable enough. And I want to say on record, I said earlier, what's his name? Chris Middleton. He stepped up versus what he was last year as a player.
Yeah.
Will he do this in the playoffs though?
Yeah. Huh?
I said, will he do this in the playoffs?
He has to.
Yeah.
He getting paid.
I'm saying.
So he has to.
He's gonna have to do it in the playoffs. I think Milwaukee are they playing better now than they was last year though?
Because of Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton is
when they lost Malcolm Brogdon, I was like, oh man,
Yeah. Chris Middleton, Malcolm Brogdon was a playmaker / scorer for that squad. And we saw Chris Middleton last year, and we did it live, so y'all already know how I feel about it. He was a dependent player. You had to make a play for him. He couldn't go get his own shot, but you watch him now, he's not the playmaker that Malcolm Brogdon is, but he's making more plays for his teammates. He's making plays for himself. He could take the ball off the dribble. He could go get his now.
Yeah, I thought losing Malcolm Brogdon was gonna hurt.
Yeah, me too.
A lot worse than it did.
100%.
Now, I'm like, man, they still playing good.
You know what would be nice though if they traded for Chris Paul some kind of way.
A lot of people been saying 100%. That. But how the money? Who gonna take on that big ass contract?
But how many years does Eric Bledsoe still have on his deal?
I don't know. I just looked that up. But also speaking of CP3, shout out to him in OKC.
There you go.
They are man. They are
Did you
balling,
see shot?
Yes,
2020,
yes, and 10 assists, dude. Like, but shout out to CP3 and because before this season started, we were all saying OKC was dead in the water.
But
a lot of people were saying that.
I didn't think so though. I kind of figured like
we ain't had them in the playoffs. I don't think people had them going to the playoffs.
Yeah, I didn't have them in the
And
playoffs.
they're a playoff team right now.
I still think they were like addition by subtraction though, kind of. So I felt like other people would have to step up, and I felt like that was a team where other people would step up. Plus that trade to get Shy, I thought to get him in there, I thought to have him there, I thought would make them better.
Right.
Yeah. Shout out to OKC, man. I like what they're doing. I like that CP3 didn't quit. And it's good that we
because they're not that far record-wise. They're not that far behind than last year when they had Paul George and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah,
so that's crazy.
And see, back then when they had those guys, everybody was standing around and watch them. So that was kind of
they moving. They moving.
Now you got to move the ball.
CP3 got that engine going, man. Yeah. He got that engine going.
Oh man, Eric Bledsoe is untradeable.
His money. No, is it the money?
Yeah, because
can that match CP3's money?
Well, no, it matches, but here's the thing: it's the additional years that you have to take on. He signed through 2023. So you're talking about an additional 3 years.
You stuck with him.
Yeah,
ain't nobody gonna take on that.
Nobody gonna take on that. He's
OKC's not gonna take on
unless you got a third team that needed a guard.
Yeah, like who would need an Eric Bledsoe?
Well,
I would have to sit down.
Knicks.
We'll Knicks.
I'm just. Yeah.
We'll come to that, but okay. We'll get back to some questions. I took down as many as I could, but I want to jump into some other topics that I have here. Should we be concerned about the Clippers? This is a 2-part question that also got one from the chat. The second part is why? Where is it? Why are the Clippers not getting many national TV games on ESPN and TNT?
Because the Lakers are getting them all.
But I thought Clippers was supposed to take over LA. I thought Kawhi was the best player in the league.
The Lakers TV, look, this is a business thing. This is not a better team type
popularity
of thing.
contest.
The Lakers have the most lucrative TV deal damn near in sports. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if they are a 5-win team or a 65-win team. They are going to get national attention.
The Lakers are America's team with America's player on it.
Cool.
And it's before LeBron was there. Now LeBron is there. It's even that's double.
Nobody give a damn about the Clippers. I've been saying it for months.
No, not to the same degree.
Not till they win a championship. They're gonna have to win.
They still won't care.
They're gonna have to win. They still won't take off
to 16.
Yeah, they won't take out. They won't take out the Lakers, but it'll still put them. They'll get more games.
They
is what
will
I'm saying.
not care. These people, they're like the Cowboys have been losing for years.
Yeah.
People are programmed.
They still love the Lakers.
They're programmed.
Yeah, they still love the Lakers. Yeah, they still love the Lakers.
All right,
you can love them or hate them.
Yeah, should we be concerned about the Clippers? Now, I put in the chat. What's the big man?
Zubac?
No, the
black guy with
Harold.
Harold said that alluded to there being some problems in the locker room. He said there may be another issue right there, brother. After they lost to the Memphis Grizzlies, we're going to talk about them. They just beat the Rockets tonight. Shout out to Ja Morant, who went 10 for 11 from the field.
Yes,
by
sir.
the way.
Somebody better tell James Harden about him.
Somebody tell him about him.
So, yeah.
I love that, man.
They're 14-4 with PG-13. I will say that. That's great. But outside of that, they seem very inconsistent at the 5th seed. Should we be concerned?
Nope.
Not yet, no. Not at all.
Like concerned with what? Like they're not gonna make the playoffs?
They'll make the playoffs.
They're not gonna make a run.
Getting to the finals.
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's why we shouldn't be. We've seen him do this before. Kawhi has done this several times. Like he one of them people who understands how the game works. And the season doesn't start.
Done it once.
Well, he played with
San Antonio.
So he's seen it done. So season doesn't start to the playoffs for some people, and I think that's how he's going to be from now on. It's kind of like, let's get through the season.
Let me coast.
Yeah, let's get through. And all right, now it's time to strap him up and play ball. That's what's going to happen.
And then let's look at the roster, right? They got some championship moxie there. And first of all, it starts with the head coach, Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers been there, done that. Mm-hmm. He's had multiple teams that had multiple veteran all-stars. Mm-hmm. Superstars, right? Mm-hmm. So first and foremost, he knows how to deal with personalities. Locker room things with championship winning caliber rosters, they're going to have turmoil. Shit isn't always going to be all roses and dandy in the locker room. That's just part of the game. But when we look at the roster and the way that they are constructed, they have a bench and they have superstars and they have dogs on that squad.
Yeah.
They're gonna be fine. You're not gonna want to play them in the first, second, or third round or the championship.
You don't want to see them guys.
You don't want to see them because we've seen what Pat Bev brings. We know what Lou Will
can do.
You know what I'm saying? We know the energy that Montrell brings, and then we're not even talking about their superstars yet. Yeah. So they're gonna be
and they always get up for some reason when they play the Lakers. Like I don't care who else.
But what if they don't play the Lakers? And I think that's where I'm concerned about. Denver just smashed. PG-13, and that's what makes it so difficult.
But you think they can do it? You got to win it 4 times. That's what I was saying. You think they can do it? That's exactly what I was going to say.
I think there are other teams in the Western Conference that can beat them. Let's remove the Lakers.
I put it to you like this. Denver ain't doing that. Denver not ready to do that.
I love Denver, but I don't think they can knock out Kawhi 4 times in a row.
Nope.
They can't do it. Houston can do it? I was just about to say, you think Houston can do it?
And it's not because Houston doesn't have it. It's because I don't believe James Harden can do it in the playoffs.
They've beaten them 3 times already.
It doesn't matter. But how many times do we see? Do you remember when Miami Heat was winning and everything, and Indiana beat them 3 times in the regular season? What happened in the postseason?
Brooklyn Nets did too. Brooklyn Nets did too. Remember when Brooklyn Nets beat them?
I know.
Yeah. It's a new game. It's a new season.
Different.
It's a new season.
So I'm not worried about them.
I'm worried about them because I think there's.
You think there's drama brewing that they not?
I think there's drama going on there. I think they have a lot of time to fix it. This is just right now.
Right.
They have a lot of time to fix it. So I think I'm concerned because I think they think that they can flip the switch. I think they are a championship team right now, and they haven't won anything yet.
Yeah, I think that sometimes can help though. The drama early can turn into cohesion later.
It can help.
It could help them down the stretch if they get it together. Yeah, once you get it together.
Where? What evidence? What teams? Give me some teams.
Shoot, a lot of them. I'm sure. Yeah, even Golden State. A lot of those teams that happens with it. Behind the scenes.
Kobe, Shaq, Lakers.
Before, after they won their first title.
Talking about who? Talking about Lakers?
Give me the Lakers, and then give me Golden State. The drama.
Even the Bulls. Even the Bulls. That's what I was about to say. Even the Bulls team. Those teams had drama.
Was that before or after they won their first title?
Before. That was before and after.
Before and after.
These guys are
These guys haven't won a title yet.
And we get the reason why I'm not worried about it is because it is primarily. Mm-hmm. If we look at their roster, who helps them if they bring somebody in? Nobody. Right. They have everything they need.
The only thing that scares me is what other teams will do. Houston at this trade deadline, they can make a couple moves that can kind of shift the pendulum a little bit in their favor. Lakers on this run, but like I said, it's still too early to be concerned. It's just too early. As long as they get in, and they're in that top 4.
I put it to you like this, Ken. I would have a bigger level of concern if they had a different head coach.
And a different superstar.
You trust Doc Rivers?
I trust Doc.
I trust Doc and Kawhi.
I do too.
I don't trust Kawhi like that.
You don't?
Mm-mm. Kawhi is very self-serving and selfish.
But Kawhi drug Toronto to the championship.
He did. But when you look at Toronto, who on that team was going to question him?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. But on this squad, there's really only one person on his level.
PG-13. But I think there are other players that think they are. Pat Bev think he freaking Draymond Green.
That's okay, and that's fine. And that's fine because look, your best player doesn't always have to be the pulse of the team.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
He's the voice.
Pat Bev is the voice. He's the pulse.
He thinks he is, but I don't think he has that Draymond type.
Doc just gave it to him.
He wants to be that.
Did you see what Doc just gave him?
He is that guy. Wait, hold on. Did we forget what we watched?
He's the attitude of heart. Yeah.
Did we forget what we watched during Christmas Day? Do we forget that already?
I remember, and I'm not putting a lot of stock into it.
So you wasn't worried the other way.
What did Pat Bev do last year in the playoffs in the first round?
In what game? In Game 7?
Now, here's the thing. There's certain players you can't put clamps on for an entire game. Right. You could do it in certain moments, but he put the clamp. As much of a clamp that you could put on KD, Pat Bev gave you that. And you talking about
gave us 40.
Yeah, I said KD came back.
You heard what I said.
Right,
you can't clamp KD down. I don't care if you I don't care who you are in this league. KD will drop 40 on everybody, but in stretches.
But even that, but you know what? Even that 40,
No. I'm not letting Raph get away with this. Hold on. Pat Bev thought he was putting the clamps on KD.
I'll give you another example.
And KD came out. You know what he said?
Of course, you know my name.
There were no more clamps.
No, 100%. But we know of another small guy that put the clamps on KD when KD was in
Chris
OKC.
Paul is different.
What do you mean?
He's more of a dog, man.
Defensively, we're not talking overall player. Overall player, Chris Paul is a bigger dog. Yeah. But defensively,
Pat is the dog of the league.
100 at the point guard position.
And the thing about it is
defensively.
And see, here's the thing: you can get, once again, we're talking about a 7-game series. You can go off in a game, but if those are the hardest 40 points you ever got in your life, you're gonna remember that the next game. Mm-hmm. And usually that's the second game. He gonna get you one of those games. He gonna get a win based off his defense at some point in this series. So that's really all you need.
There's some problems. I'm telling y'all right now. They got time to fix it. It's not vocal. It's not.
So
public.
You're worried?
I'm worried. I think there's something there.
I'm not worried.
I'm really good at this stuff. I told y'all about some other teams in the past, but anyway, we're gonna move on. Zion Williamson coming back.
He need to sit.
Do a Ben Simmons.
Nah, play.
What you say? What kind of injury he got, Ken? You like, it's a little knee thing. A little knee thing.
Nah, sir.
A dude his size, with his athletic ability, all that power and force when you jump.
He does not need to play.
Just
come on, man. We got to stop babysitting these kids, man.
I mean, that's the league we're in now.
No, it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be. We need to get over that stuff.
No, Ken. It's way different.
Ben Simmons stubbed his toe and missed the whole season.
He didn't. Come on,
Blake
man.
Griffin had a knee. He had a knee issue.
Blake Griffin's knee was serious.
This is the reason. This is the reason why it's different, and you're not necessarily babying or coddling these players. Back in the day, in Charles Barkley's day, and Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan's day, and all of that, they didn't play the same amount of basketball hours before they got to the NBA. When you look at these young kids, they start specializing in basketball grade 6, 7, 8, right? And then it's not just playing a season for your main team and then maybe off season working on your game.
Right.
No, it's multiple AAU teams. It's multiple training. It's a year round.
Right.
You're always playing basketball. So before you even get into the league, you done played more minutes.
Right.
Basketball minutes, training and game minutes.
And you're 18 years old.
At 18 years
280
old.
pounds.
And you're still growing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like we've seen when Giannis first got into the league.
Some milk.
When Giannis first got into the league, he was shorter than what he is now. He was way smaller than what he is now.
Even Kobe, they didn't think he could gain weight.
Exactly. Kobe came into the league about 6'5". Kobe, grew about an inch or two. So it's one of these things that now, because these kids are specializing so much in basketball, if they get hurt and once they make the NBA, you got to give them the time. Yeah. You got to give them the time to recoup.
Play. I can't wait to see him.
I don't see how playing this year would benefit him or the team.
100%.
Or the team. I mean, because think about it from this standpoint too.
I look at it. He can play first.
We know he
can. And also,
did you see it in preseason?
We thought R.J. Barrett could play.
RJ's fine.
No, RJ, you knew what he was going to be.
Exactly.
He was what we thought he was. We know what Zion is. Zion is, and his ceiling is through the roof. So you don't want to risk that messing with his confidence, messing with his health, none of that stuff right now.
Messing with that man's health. That man out there doing through the leg dunk.
But he was doing that
one leg
junior
right now.
He was doing that in 7th grade.
So,
if he could do it right now, he need to do it in the game.
No,
but it's a whole nother. You know that for yourself. It's one thing to do it out there with no defense, but to do it out there with another man guarding you, man.
Y'all soft. You too old to be soft, man.
It's not about being soft, Ken. It's about protecting your future interests. Now, I'll put it to you like
that's
this.
An investment.
If Zion was in year 3, year 4, you got to play.
Yeah, he got to play.
You got to play.
Yeah.
But you haven't even started your NBA career. We are a bad team. Now, if the Pelicans were like a 6th seed or or fifth seed? Oh, no, you got to
play.
Yeah,
he got to play.
All right, stay right there. Let's give some love to Brandon Ingram.
100.
You owe me an apology from last year.
You owe me an apology.
Yep, you do.
What did I say?
I told you and I told Nick that Brandon Ingram has figured it out and he's on his way. It was becoming that dude. He was putting up 20-some points a game, almost 25, and you didn't believe it.
Ken.
Apologize.
Nope, I'm not. Because if y'all go back, all of the years that we've been doing Danny Sports and Brandon Ingram has been in the league, I have said that he is progressing. And I also said that LeBron was holding him back.
Yes.
Right? Now, I did not anticipate the jump that he made in New Orleans, but Ken, what year is he in?
I know you're going to go to your 3 to 5 thing, but I wasn't talking about 3 to 5. I was talking about the end of the season when he was hooping.
Yeah, I didn't see it translated.
You didn't think it was your thing was you didn't think it was sustainable.
And I didn't think he was going to improve on that. I thought Brandon Ingram capped out last year as to what he was going to be.
Would he have been this if Zion had played, though?
We don't know.
I don't think he could have done it.
Well, here's the thing. So I think it's possible, mainly because Zion isn't a selfish type player. Mm-hmm. And Zion isn't a scorer. Zion gets points because his second jump is crazy. Yeah. He has a fucking 50-inch vertical, right? So who's going to out-rebound him? He gets a lot of easy points. He gets a lot of lobs and things around the basket. Mm-hmm. So 20 points to him is easy. The way he scored 20 and the way LeBron scored 20 is two different things. So I still think Brandon Ingram could have got his. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know.
Because I know, this thing, a lot of basketball is bigger than basketball. Mm-hmm. Basketball is about selling tickets and selling jerseys
100.
and all that stuff. So that's to answer your question. That's why he's not playing. That's why he's not gonna play. I think this was all
not gonna play.
Zion this year.
Zion playing.
He ain't playing this year.
He is playing.
There's no way they're gonna put him out there
on the show to apologize next.
Yeah, no,
I just don't see them putting him on that court this year.
Now here's the thing.
I wouldn't.
They're fighting for a playoff spot.
What's their record? Like 16
and
24
and
or something like that?
The second part, while we on the Pelicans, I'm a man of fairness. Lonzo Ball is balling. Lonzo Ball is balling.
He's starting to get it. He's starting to be more aggressive.
What happened?
Well, first of all, so it's two things.
Real quick.
What's their
Pelicans
record?
got the second worst record in the West.
Oh, they're in the West.
What was it? 16 and 24?
15 and 26.
15
I thought
and
they were
26.
in the East.
No, they're in the West.
No, they're in the West.
New Orleans
man.
they switched over.
They the second. They got the second worst record in the West.
Yeah.
Don't let Zion play.
Zion is not
playing.
playing.
He's not playing though. He still needs.
Go get you a top 3 pick this year.
Yeah,
the
he's
top
not
3
playing.
picks this year, they got some dogs up there.
Yeah, they're gonna get Melo.
But here's the thing about Lonzo. The thing about Lonzo is two things, Ken. The first thing that I talked about Lonzo's game was being aggressive. And what I mean about that is I understand throwing the ball up early to get easy buckets. Mm-hmm. But sometimes as a point guard, you got to dribble it up to make the defense come to you, and then you can make that pass later. Yeah. Right? He's starting to do that more. The second thing is that the shot has improved.
It has, and that jumper looks a lot better than it. Ben Simmons need to go.
Side.
Whoever working with Lonzo, if it's LeVar, they need to send Ben. Ben need to go out there with them for a summer because that jumper is. I watched him play the Lakers game and I was like, "Dang, that's a smooth J."
Yeah,
it was just real smooth.
It's just we've documented on this program, and you've said it multiple times, over and over again. Aggression.
Yeah,
attack the basket, and having that mentality. Even this season, he didn't have it. It feels like, and I there's a story there. Because something happened where he became a different guy.
You know, the benching. Because look, when they made the move for Lonzo, B.I., Josh Hart, the whole AD trade, right?
Right.
They gave Lonzo the keys. You're the starting point guard. Drew's R2. He started a little bit shaky. Alvin Gentry was doing the same thing Luke Walton was doing. Yeah, you start the game, but in that second half, he was barely getting any time. Right. He barely finished the game. He was barely playing in the fourth quarter, right? For a multitude of reasons, right? Non-aggression, the free throw line percentage. You know, it was just a lot of different things. At some point, Alvin Gentry benched him. When he came off that bench, Lonzo turned into the dog that he needed.
The light switch went off.
The light switch went off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder who you can attribute that to, though. Where did it come from?
I think it's just a multitude of things. I think the shot being improved over the offseason, the fact that you got benched and you know that you're the best point guard on this squad,
right?
And then just honestly looking at your homie Brandon Ingram ball.
Yeah, I think I feel like that may have been it. Why do he and did you see
Kuz?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, come on, man. You know there's going to be a little bit of bad blood when we were – like, think about it. The Lakers had a core foursome of young
But that
talent.
wasn't Kuzma.
I understand that. But at the end of the day, this is the business side of it. This ain't the personal side of it. It's just business.
Yeah.
I'm a Pelican. I don't mess with y'all no more.
All right.
Yeah. And then there's no telling what went on behind the scenes once again. You know.
Yeah, that looked like something else went on.
And you know Kuzma – to me, he come off like one of those dudes that's super slick that may say some shit.
Yeah, him and that trainer, they've been having some conversations.
So, you know,
that was interesting. But I'm gonna go through a couple of real quick ones, and then we're gonna get into these top 5 questions that I had. Is John Wall done?
That's to be determined. I don't think so. I think he's gonna come back stronger.
What type of injury did he get?
He been out the league for what, 3 years?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, he tore his ACL, I think it was.
But
I was watching him work out the other day though. He looked pretty good, and I think he got something to prove at this point.
Here's the reason why I'm saying he's not out the league or he's done is because I you know me, you know the position I play. I'm a pure point guard. When you're a pure point guard, you can always play. You can always play. Now, we know that a lot of John Wall's game was predicated on his speed and his quickness and his athletic ability. How much of that does he still have? I don't know. But when you look at somebody like D. Rose, even though it took him a couple of years to get back, look at D. Rose playing this year.
He reinvented himself.
And he can go to a championship contender and give them minutes and buckets.
Right.
Can Luka carry the Mavs to a title?
To a title?
Not this year, just
Oh, in
yes,
yeah, of course.
He definitely can.
He's that damn good.
He just need 1 or 2 pieces.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they need one more because obviously this is Kristaps' first year back from the injury.
Yeah.
We already know first year, you're not going to be the guy that you was.
But he's definitely made a difference. Without him, they've struggled.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. But KP isn't the same guy that we saw in New York. Next year, we'll see that. They still need a third guy. And I think at some point in time, that's going to be the Tim Hardaway contract. Either you're going to have to trade that, you're not going to re-sign him or something like that, because that money that they're paying Tim Hardaway needs to go to a third star, and that's not Tim Hardaway.
All right, I'm going to run down a couple of quick questions from the chat. Deuce asked, y'all, do we think Miami has a shot to get out of the East?
It's possible.
Like win it?
Go to the finals, yeah.
It's possible.
I don't think so. I don't
not
think so.
likely.
I just don't think they have enough to get out of the East. I don't think they have enough to get by Milwaukee. I think that they.
I can definitely see them get in the second round though.
Yeah, they're overachievers this year though. Nobody expected. I think they're the surprise of the league right now.
100%.
And them boys playing ball, but once again,
They are.
once that second season start though, it's a whole other thing, and I don't think they can beat.
They get out the first round though.
Yeah, they're not gonna win. What, 16 games? I don't think.
Second round depends on matchup. Eastern Conference, I don't know.
Yeah, that's tough.
Is Rondo, Julian asks, is Rondo beneficial to the Lakers or should he be traded?
He should be traded. And the reason why I say that, obviously he's not in the starting lineup. When he plays with LeBron, his numbers are great. When he doesn't play with LeBron, his numbers are ass. And what they need from that second unit is a point guard to not be able to play with LeBron and sustain leads, push leads, and things of that nature. And Rondo's not that guy.
Who is the guy though?
I think I don't know why the hell this guy still has not been signed, but
Jamal Crawford.
Jamal Crawford,
I've been talking about it for a minute because the Lakers bench like Kuzma's a dependent player. You got to make plays for Kuzma to get off,
right?
And you need another guy that can just go get his own bucket. And I think Rondo and Jamal Crawford plus Kuzma off of that bench is
that's ridiculous amazing. Right there. Yeah.
With Avery Bradley, like you're talking about almost a second starting lineup. It's not just a Rondo thing. They need to go get somebody else that Rondo can play off of and help off that bench.
Eric V asks, can the Spurs make noise in the playoffs?
Hell no.
No.
Look.
I hate to say
Spurs
that.
time is up. Yeah.
And remember, we talked about it last year in the playoffs. Their two best players are not Popovich players, and that's a big issue. LaMarcus Aldridge is look, man. Hey, LaMarcus, come see me, bro. I'm talking to you right. You're a great player. You deserve every penny that he's gotten in this contract. In the playoffs, this guy shrinks. He shrinks, and he just does not give you the same level of execution. And then DeMar DeRozan, he must have PTSD from playing against LeBron all these years, bro. Because DeMar, I don't know, like, he is one of those borderline guys. Has all the athletic ability, has all of the talent in the world, but he's just not dominant. You know what I'm saying? So to me, DeMar is one of those guys for like the Mavericks, right? You could be our third guy.
Yeah.
He's the third or fourth guy on a championship
Lamar,
team.
LA is Kevin Love.
Huh?
LA is basically black Kevin Love.
Basically.
Yeah. But hey, DeMar did get somebody the other night though.
And he can.
Yeah, he got it in him. He'll make some things. Yeah. He'll make some things shake sometimes, but he, like you said, he's probably a third star.
Halfway, Dankelborg asked, halfway through the year, I guess up to this point, who y'all got winning the title? Feeling like it's the Clips this year?
Nah, Lakers.
No. I'm thinking Milwaukee.
That's not a bad pick.
Yeah, I'm taking Greek Freak.
Yeah.
I think he got his MVP last year. I think his goal is championship now.
I think he's gonna have that what we talked about with Trevor Lawrence. He's thinking about how he performed last year.
Yep.
Yeah, he gonna come out there on a mission.
Yeah, he like, I'm taking his East. His East is mine.
And we're seeing it, right? Like we all thought that was the jump Joel Embiid was gonna make because we saw how
watched him,
Toronto.
We watched him cry leaving off the court.
All of that stuff.
I thought he was gonna come back this season mad.
Yep.
Like
angry. And obviously the numbers that Joel has this year, they're good. You know, they're all-star, they're superstar numbers. But at the end of the day, the jump in his game, we not seeing it like we seen Giannis. And let's be honest, the last 3-4 years of Giannis, he's made jumps every year.
Yeah, every
and this
year.
year, now
Every
he's
year.
hitting the three. I don't know how you guard that.
Yeah.
I'm leaning Bucks, but I'm going to go Sixers. Let's see. All right, so.
To win the chip?
Yeah, that's why he's smirking like that. He's smirking when he said that.
I hope so.
I love the questions you guys are asking. We're going to do more of this. And then we're probably going to do some voicemails too.
Yep.
So I'm gonna do a number, and I was thinking about the call-in shit too. Yep. So I want to add that to the show. So let's end this episode with some top five. Y'all want to do the rookies or the teams first?
Rookies. So
let's do it. What
rookies,
you got, B?
I got Morant.
These in order? Or just your five best?
Do they have to be? You want them to be in order?
What do y'all want to do? Y'all want to do order?
I put mine in order.
Okay, so I'm going to do an answer order then too. Okay, so I got Morant.
Number one?
Yep.
All right.
I got my man Nunn from Miami.
Okay.
I see, B. You watching something?
Yeah. And number three, I go with Barrett. 4, he just got hurt, but he's playing a solid year. Pascal from Golden State.
Yeah, Eric Pascal.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, he playing ball.
And then my 5th would be, I can't pronounce his name, from Washington.
Oh,
Rory Hachimura.
Yeah, him. That's my 5th.
Yeah,
that's my 5th.
I think we're gonna have a
That's
lot
my
of
5th.
different answers.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my
we are.
5th. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna pass it to Shelton. What you got, bro?
That's tough. I wasn't prepared for this, but I'm gonna get you 5.
I said at the beginning of the show.
Before we started.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. One for me, of course, is Ja Morant. 2 is Brandon Clark.
Okay.
Brandon Clark playing some ball.
From Memphis.
Yeah. He playing ball. I like Brandon Clark.
Mr. Damn alley-oop from Jod, but I ain't gonna say nothing.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
He go. Yeah. He's still young. He be all right.
He be all right.
I love Dunn from Miami for 3.
None.
None.
Yeah.
None. 4 is Alexander Walker. He's a rookie, isn't he?
Nico. I know you're talking about the guy. Yeah.
Nickel.
Nickel. He's in New Orleans. Yeah.
Yes. I like him. I don't know why. I just think long term he's gonna give us more than what he's giving.
He has
us
the
now.
attitude. I haven't seen the game yet.
It's coming. But I think.
Yeah.
And 5 is what's my man from Cleveland?
Darius Garland.
Garland.
Yeah, he's figured some things out. Okay. All right. Cool. I'm gonna go right now, and I'm gonna say Feefo for last. Yep. So my number 1, of course, is Ja Morant. That's easy. Number 2 is Devontae Graham in Charlotte.
He's not a rookie though.
He's not a rookie.
He's not a rookie?
No, it's his second year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah,
for
Washington
real?
is a rookie. PF Washington.
PJ Washington.
Yeah, PJ Washington.
Devontae's not a rookie.
No, he's not.
Sure. He's on my fantasy squad.
That's my
He's
team.
not a rookie.
That's my squad.
Second year.
Second year.
Breakout
Kansas.
star. Breakout star.
Yeah, breakout star.
Yeah. He's the most improved player by far.
Yeah.
But he played
Go
last
ahead,
year.
redo it. Go ahead, redo it. Hey, man, I'm looking out for you, baby. I'm looking out for you.
Damn. Well, I'm gonna just move everybody up one, and then I'm gonna add somebody to that.
That would have been easy if he was a rookie.
Yeah. He'd have been right there.
Him and Ja.
He would have been above Ja.
No,
Because let me tell you why.
Like 1A, 1B. I mean, it's just
the only reason I say that is because this man's averaging over 20 points a game, playing out of position. Because you got Scary Terry's on the ball more than him, so that's why I would give it to him.
I don't know what the hell Jordan doing out there, man.
I know, man. Jesus Christ.
He should have traded Kemba and got something in return.
I don't know. I don't know what the thinking of that was. The security guard. That's somebody.
No, that's his homie.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Well,
Morant at 1.
Kendrick Nunn
At 2.
that'd be my number 2.
Okay.
Tyler Hero.
Okay, it's
number
Miami.
3.
Okay. So 2 Miami guys.
Yep.
Dang, you got 2 of them on there.
Michael Porter Jr. is number 4.
Is he a rookie though?
He is.
Yes.
Yeah, because he didn't play none last year.
he didn't play last year. Okay.
And depth is the only thing, but he
they got his opportunity. They got 20 players.
I've been trying to tell you.
That won't be a problem for long. Trust me.
Yeah, I've been saying.
And I guess for my 5th, I'll throw. I want to pick up P.J. Washington. I think he's been far more consistent, but I think R.J. Barrett is starting to get his sea leg. So I'm gonna say he's 5th.
Okay.
But
I like what PJ and Brandon has done more. RJ.
Honorable mention Zion. We forgot about Zion.
Yeah.
even without playing.
Yeah.
Zion is Zion.
Jared Culver's been balling too. He's been not balling, but he's been playing well.
He's been playing well.
Yeah.
He's making Andrew Wiggins expendable.
All right, man. What you got?
So for number 5, he's a guy that was on nobody's list here, but I've been watching him since he got to this particular team, and he's been playing way better than I thought he was coming out of college, and that's Kobe White, point guard for the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah,
he's averaging 16 points a game off the bench.
Oh wow.
At some point he's making who's their starting point guard that came from? Chris Dunn. Yeah, Chris Dunn is expendable. That's.
I thought they'd have been done.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But now Kobe White, I got for number 5. Michael Porter Jr. I got at number 4. Obviously, he did not start. He wasn't getting minutes at the beginning half of the season.
Why.
And that's the only reason why.
That's why he didn't. He was gonna make mines, but it was like fuck. He didn't have.
But here's the thing, though. But when he got his opportunity, you see. So I remember even preseason, I was saying I thought that was going to be the rookie of the year. You know what I'm saying? Or at least a top 2, top 3 candidate with Ja and Zion too. Because I already knew Michael Porter Jr. was the truth. At number 3, I got Kendrick Nunn from Miami. You already know I grew up Miami 305 all day, Wade County. And he came out of nowhere. It's not like I knew about this guy. You already know.
Nobody knew about him.
Nobody knew. And you know, I be on the young players coming into the league. I did not know about this guy. He's definitely balling. You know what I'm saying? To say the least, he's definitely balling. Number 2, I got Tyler Hero. And the only reason why I put Tyler Hero over Kendrick Nunn, I would say overall, you know, is an argument to say he's playing better than Tyler Hero, but Tyler Hero has hit bigger shots than Kendrick Nunn this season. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like in tight situations, kick out from Jimmy Butler or whatever. Like there was one game where he hit like 2 or 3 threes just to get him into the OT, and then in OT he just took over. So to me, like situationally, Tyler Hero has been better. And then obviously number 1, John Morant. Everybody got the same guy on the list. We know what he is. We knew that coming into the league that he was going to have some type of impact. We didn't know how much just because of his sleight of frame, but obviously that has not impacted him. And James Harden better know who that motherfucker is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, when you go out and hey, he's taking the tour right now.
Yep. So it's a consensus that he's going to be rookie.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And I put it to you like this. I realized he was going to be rookie of the year. I want to say it was within the first 5 games when they played against Brooklyn, and he went straight at Kyrie. And he held his own, blocked Kyrie's shot, and they won the game. I said, that's the rookie.
Yeah.
You know what? I need to edit my list. Get RJ off my list, man. Give me PJ Washington.
Okay.
Give me PJ Washington.
Okay.
Yeah. RJ he's just not doing it for me yet, man. Yeah, I got him on my fantasy team, so I know. I see this every night. And it's just something missing.
Look, with most rookies is consistency. And when I watch RJ play,
I try to give him a pass for that because I understand that.
He's not comfortable yet. He's not comfortable in the NBA just yet.
He's the third leading scorer as a rookie, though. I didn't know that.
He's putting up numbers.
But he's with the Knicks, though. So
and you know he's going to get the shots. And we know he's a scorer. You know what I'm saying? It's just that he doesn't know how to attack the parts of the game when he needs to attack.
He doesn't have the mental part down.
He doesn't have. He's a rookie. You know what I'm saying? So he'll get better. And I think that out of this rookie class, 5 years, 6 years from now, he's probably going to be a top 2, top 3 scorer. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I can see that.
I see him as James Harden 2.0. James Harden came into the league. Was he scoring like that? He wasn't.
But the only difference is James Harden was smart, though. I watched him at Arizona State, and he was a smart basketball player.
You know why, though? Because coming up, he was one of those guys that had a growth spurt. Yeah. He was a point guard originally. You know what I'm saying? So that never leaves you. That never leaves you. That IQ, that awareness.
He got that old man game.
He does.
So he always had that old man game.
He always did. Yep.
Yeah. You got your top 5 NBA teams?
I can do that real fast.
Class? Okay. All right.
Let me put mine in order.
Let me go second. I'm gonna put mine.
All right. I will start this off then.
All right.
While y'all cramming for the test.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay. I'll go to you next. Lakers are my number 1. No, I'm gonna start with number 5. I'm gonna go in the reverse direction. Sixers.
Yeah, you're 5.
Okay. is my 5th team. 4th, Houston. 3rd, Boston. 2nd, Bucks. And
1, LA.
I'm moving LA up, man. I'm starting to see more consistency. I'm starting to see the pieces gel a little bit more together than I've seen in the past. I think the role players are starting to become comfortable with their roles. What did it for me was when they beat OKC, and it wasn't even close. I think Kuzma is starting to get himself back together, his confidence back together. And when you go on multiple 7-8 game win streaks, that's not a fluke. There's something real there. So I'm gonna respect them. I'm gonna give them the respect I think they deserve. I've been a little, iffy. I wasn't a believer, even though I respected the record. I'm coming around. I think I'm a believer now. With the Bucks, man. I mean, pretty much the same thing. They've been out the gate since the thing started. They have what we thought the Sixers would have.
They're on a mission.
They are on a mission. I think they
were. You know what they remind me of, Ken? They remind me of teams that took a bad loss in the playoff and they come back with a vengeance. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna get back.
We're gonna get. They coming back with that attitude.
Yeah,
you know what
and they're winning with and without Giannis.
Yep.
So I think that's impressive. Boston, I've been suspect on this guy. But Tatum just put up 40 or something on somebody.
He's starting to come up.
Yeah, he's comfortable. Kemba's still that dude. And Brad Stevens, man, I got to give him some props. He's coaching the hell out of these guys.
You know who I think the key to that team is? It's Marcus Smart.
Yeah, he is.
Because
that's the dog.
That's the dog. And
he's that Draymond.
He allows them to play small, big. He don't have to get shots to be an impactful player on that squad. No. He's the key to their success.
Yeah, he does the dirty work.
And even though they lost tonight, I like Houston a lot. I think Russell's Westbrook's impact on that team is there. They're not getting the attention that a lot of other teams have gotten, but they've beaten the Clippers 3 times already.
Yep.
And if they were coming in as the favorite, I think we got to take notice of that.
Yeah.
I've already documented my issues with the Clippers, so I'm holding them off yet. I'm looking at the Sixers, man. I think they're going to get it together. I'm definitely going to watch them while Embiid is out. This is going to tell me a lot. And but I believe in the talent. I believe in Embiid. I like Harris. Richardson is an upgrade. And I think they just hit a rough stretch in the road. But yeah, that's my teams, and those are my reasons.
So you got Philly number 1?
Fifth.
He went back.
Fifth.
He started from 5 to 1.
You want to go? You want me to go?
Yeah, I'll go real quick. My 5th is I got Clippers. At 4, I got Miami. At 3, I got Boston. At 2, I got Lakers, and at 1, I got Milwaukee. And yeah, I think Yeah, Boston. I thought they were going to regress a little bit when they got rid of Al Horford, when they traded him to because that was like they locker room guy. Like that's why Sixers got Horford, because now you got Embiid, so you still got some stability in the front court. So I thought when they let him go, I'm like, oh man, Boston might take a step back. But like you said, props to Brad Stevens. He's still coaching them boys up, and they playing great ball. Yeah, like I said, Lakers and Milwaukee was kind of like you can flip and flop, but. I just like I said, Milwaukee just they playing like they took a bad loss and they coming back with like when Pistons when we lost in '88 came back in 8, we taking this. Like when Chicago lost to us in '90, they came back in '91, we taking this. Like that's what this Milwaukee team remind me of, and I would not be shocked at all if they get to the finals, if they make it to the finals this upcoming season. So that's why I got them at 1. Miami, like I said, that's a team almost similar to We didn't have Miami dead in the water like we did OKC, but Miami
low expectations.
Yeah, low expectations. Yeah. So I'm like the fact that them boys are balling, they looking like a serious contender in the East. They got to be in my top 5. And I mean Clippers. I'm not like just like you, Doc Rivers, Kawhi, PG-13. Like I they're gonna right the ship. They're gonna get it going probably after All-Star.
For you.
What? Do you remember the question you was gonna ask me about Detroit?
Nah, I don't.
Damn.
Do you feel like LeBron has that same mentality as the Bucks?
No. I'm talking about it's like I'm taking it this year.
Yeah.
But no, because I think Bucks is coming from we thought last year was our year and we didn't get it.
LeBron's be coming from y'all motherfuckers don't respect me no more.
That's what, yeah.
But I think
right
for
now.
LeBron, it's the process. He's like, I'm so great. As long as I play good, I'm gonna make the finals.
That's it's like, yeah.
It's just it's already an inherent expectation of making the finals.
He's just doing what he do.
I honestly think LeBron has a chip on his shoulder now, because they were calling at the beginning of the season and after the first game they were calling him washed up. That man ain't never heard nothing like that, and I think he took that personal. And you saw a different LeBron after the first game.
Also, too, I think what helped that this season is the fact that he didn't make the playoffs last year. So now you got a lot of time to rest, get your body ready.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like that helped. That makes a difference. Man, this man been playing basketball from November to June and sometime in the summertime. You know, for his whole career.
Basketball.
Yeah, plus USA summertime, like USA basketball. So like, yeah, this is the first time he actually had not to play by the mid-April, and you had all that time off. So I think that plays a role too this season.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Okay, let me give you my top 5. Starting with 5, I'm gonna say number 5 for me right now is Philly, and that's just based off where their record is. That's why they're 5. And when I give my top 5, I hope we're doing the same thing. We're talking about as far as in response to being able to make it to the championship game. So my top 5 is Philly. I just think they sleepers and they can make it happen. 4 for me would be the Denver Nuggets. I think Denver, to me, they like we said, they're loaded, and they had playing in that Portland series last year. I think that they proved some things to me out there. I think that Denver got a shot to make it happen. 3 for me would be Boston. I think that Kemba is an upgrade for that particular team over Kyrie. Not overall. He's not a better player. Just for Boston, Kemba is better for that team. I think that Kemba, he can make the big shot, and he's not trying to he don't have to well, he does take a lot of shots, but he don't have to have it. He's not going to kill your team chemistry if he don't have it. After that would be the Lakers. Of course, would be 2. 1 is 1 and 1A.
Yeah,
between the Lakers and Milwaukee, it's a toss-up. It just depends on which team shows up. And also, this is we need to have the same conversation, like I said, after the trade deadline, because this thing could shift.
Yeah. Big time,
100%. So my 5.
Wait, what's your number 1?
Oh, 1 was Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my 5, I didn't necessarily take the approach of the 5 teams that I think that could win the championship. I'm talking more so the 5 teams right now. So 2 teams that did not make my list, and I'll get them out the way. I didn't put the Clippers on there. And the main reason is because they lost to Houston so many times, and Houston has had their number up until this point, right? And then the other team I don't have in my top 5 is Philly, and you already know how big I am on Philly. But the reason why is because my number 5 team has already beat them 2 or 3 times, which is Miami. So the way Miami is playing right now, they're the most dangerous team, and the reason why I say that is because if I put my coaching hat on, who do I try to stop? Because Jimmy Butler has scored 8 points and they've blown teams out. Mm-hmm. So there is no central focus, which makes them dangerous. And then everybody on that squad is a dog. Everybody plays at a higher level than what they are capable of, and that's what makes them dangerous. Yeah. And they've beaten Philly. They've had Philly's number. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And Philly is way more talented. They're not supposed to win those games, and Miami consistently wins those games. And remember, I always talk about taking on the identity of a coach or somebody in that. This is a Pat Riley team. Mm-hmm. You know, a 2020 version of the Knicks and, you know, the late all of those type of Pat Riley team. This is a Pat Riley team. Right. So to me, that's why I got him at number 5. Number 4, I got Boston. I 100% agree. And I said at the beginning of the season, Kemba's not a better player than Kyrie, but Kemba is a better locker room guy than Kyrie. Kemba is better everywhere else except for possibly on the court. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why we see Jason Tatum scoring the 40s. That's the reason why we see Jaylen Brown. We're not talking about really Jaylen Brown trades. Jaylen Brown has now established himself as a core piece of that unit. Marcus Smart, he's always going to be Marcus Smart. But, you know, Brad Stevens in that locker room, and you could just tell that the way that they play, they are playing more happily than they have with Kyrie. Right. Number 3, I got the Rockets. And this is one of those picks that, for me, I feel – give me my flowers, because everybody was questioning how it was going to work, and I was saying this is going to be better than what CP3 was for this squad, because we already know James Harden is going to have the ball, but when it gets kicked out, you're going to have a redrive with Russ. And then off of the rebounds, we already know Russ is probably the best rebounding guard in the NBA outside of Ben Simmons, if we call him a guard. But he's going to push that pace in transition. And they can work together. They work together in OKC. Why are they not going to work together now? Right. So I knew I was right about that. Number 2, I got the Bucks. And this can be 1A, 1B. Yeah. The Bucks, like B said, I 100% agree with B. It seems like this is the squad that – damn, we lost last year. We gonna get back by all means. But it don't matter. It don't matter if everybody else is hurt. If Giannis is out there, we gonna win. If Giannis ain't out there and everybody else is there, we gonna win. It don't matter. We out there, and we gotta give Budenholzer props. Yep. We gotta give him props, because it ain't the GM, and I don't know if he has GM powers here. You know what I'm saying? But you look at everywhere that Budenholzer has gone. The Hawks, now the Bucks. And he always has a top 3 squad. So we got to give props to Budenholzer. And then number 1, the Lakers. When you look at what LeBron, like, come on, man. We're talking about year 17. Obviously, after 17 years in the NBA, you're going to lose a couple steps. Yeah. LeBron has lost a couple steps. However, he still has more juice in the tank than a lot of other people. Yeah, he does. And then he had to reinvent himself. He's literally the starting point guard. He's leading the league in assists, and it's not close. You know what I'm saying? Right. He finally has the second. His partner in crime is the best partner in crime that he's ever had. That's true. And it looks like that. You know what I'm saying? LeBron is more willing to give it up. And not saying, I think D-Wade at his prime was arguably better. You know what I'm saying? But they both play the same type of basketball. So it was hard for them to get on the same page.
It's a bigger mismatch with AD.
It's a bigger mismatch with AD. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You put those two guys in pick and roll, like what are you going to do? Yeah. So to me, and I got to give Frank Vogel and that coaching staff a lot of props, because that first game I was very critical. I said that they looked discombobulated. They didn't know how they wanted to attack, and this, that, and the third. And from the second game on, they was on the same. Everybody on that organization is on the same page. Yes. And I don't know if y'all saw this too. Rob Pelinka got a promotion as well. So now he's the vice president of basketball operations. Deservedly so, based off of how this offseason went. You thought you were in the running for Kawhi Leonard. He hosed you, and you were still able to put together a championship roster, and this team is playing well. And then even the advent of Kyle Kuzma coming off of the injury in the offseason, coming in and now starting to get his legs up under him. They've done an amazing job. LeBron's LeBron.
Right. We'll answer one quick question real quick, but I got 2 questions, one for you, Shelton, and one for Feefo. You didn't have the Lakers, my bad. You didn't have the Lakers. I mean the Clippers. You didn't have the Clippers on your team, on your list, right? Yes. Why?
I just felt like that top 5. I just don't. Even though I think that. I wouldn't be surprised. I think we got a lot. First off, the NBA is a lot stronger this year than it has been in years past. I think right now these teams are low. They got it set where it's front loaded, and these playoff teams we're talking about, any of these guys. It's just like football too. Same thing. Any given Sunday, any given day, these teams could all win. I just felt like these teams that I picked in the top 5 right now are championship teams, and they're constructed to win now.
Gotcha.
I think the Clippers would be 5A for me.
Okay. Everything's subject to change. I was just curious.
Now I don't think. Let me say this about Miami. I don't think Miami would be in there at all. And the reason why I say that is what you said. If you think about NBA's past and what everybody always say about the NBA, without having that go-to, that true dominant go-to, it doesn't work in the playoffs.
Well, it doesn't work. It doesn't work to win a championship. I 100% agree. But I still think that, and the reason why typically it doesn't work is because those guys that you don't necessarily key in on, they don't have the moxie.
Yeah.
And Kendrick Nunn has moxie. Tyler Hero has moxie. Jimmy Butler has moxie.
Yeah.
Bam Adebayo has moxie. So because of that, that's what makes them scary to me. Because typically when you don't have the go-to guy, those other guys, they're just role players.
That's true.
And these guys could potentially just be role players, but they just have dogs about them. And that's what makes them, that's the X factor to me with them.
Yeah, I just have to see it. I just hadn't seen that. They don't have enough body of work for me to say that they can go to the chat. Maybe in 2 years, but yeah.
Again, and the only reason why I put them up there is because they beat Philly so many times this year. If they didn't beat Philly, Philly would be on the list.
Yeah.
All right. Glad you just said that, because you have Miami as your 5th team because they beat Philly, right? But you don't have Philly on your team when they beat Boston 3 times.
True. You know what? That's a good question. To me, the reason why I got Boston over Philly, Boston feels better. Boston plays better cohesive basketball. We don't have questions about their top guys on the squad playing together and meshing together. You know what I'm saying? And I also think Philly has a personal thing against Boston. Boston has knocked them out of the playoffs. Boston has humbled them several times. So I think that it's a personal thing with Philly and Boston. However, like when I look at how they're constructed, we have to question Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. I'm no longer questioning the roster in Boston anymore.
Okay. Somebody asked us about Indiana. I'm trying to find his name. They started talking in the chat a lot. Okay, here we go. SY_HL said, what about Victor Oladipo? He's coming back January 29th, and they are 2 games out of the East.
Yeah, I feel bad about that because we didn't talk about Indiana in Indiana playing ball. And like you said, Victor Oladipo comes back. My only question is, where's he going to fit?
What do you mean? He's starting 2 guard.
But would that throw off? What I'm saying by that is, would it throw off what they already have? Because right now they got this, they got this cohesion. They playing ball. Brogdon is playing in the spot, so it's like.
But Brogdon is also, he knows what it is to come off the bench too.
That's the good part, and I think it should be okay. I hope so, because I like Indiana, but we'll see.
Yeah. No, I like Indiana too. But they don't scare me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They just don't. Obviously, we've seen Victor Oladipo over the last 3 years take his game to a whole stratospheric level. We got to see if he can get back to that in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, they don't scare me. They would scare me if Victor comes back and he's a 25-point scorer, lockdown defender. Then okay, that changes things.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he can get back to that.
Yeah, he's coming off legs, so that leg sometimes takes a second to get right. And that's crazy because, like we talked about, Zion, Victor need to come back. Zion don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I said, if Zion was in year 3 or 4, he got to play.
Right. That's the example.
When he's older, not younger.
Yes.
Anyway, all right. Thank you guys for showing up, man. 3 days in a row. There will not be a 4th.
No.
But but we appreciate you guys showing up, man. And we told you guys yesterday we're going to get to some basketball, and we did. So here we are, and we'll be back more than likely Monday because the games are Sunday, right?
Yes.
Football games are Sunday? Yeah, so we'll be back Monday to recap those games and probably get into some basketball, too. That'll probably be a full show. Shelton, appreciate you joining us. Man, you held your own, man. You sounded like you knew what you were talking about.
I tried a little bit, man. I tried.
Yeah, check him out, Black Korea ATL on the socials, right?
Yes, okay, Black Korea ATL.
And yourself, where can they find you?
Shelton Jones 33.
Cool, man.
That's everywhere.
Blow them up on the comments.
Yep.
Please do. Good and bad.
Yeah. That's going to do it for us this week. We'll catch you guys next time. We out. Peace.
Peace.
Mm-hmm.
He was in love with
I think you can rewind it too. You should be able to rewind it.
Who he was in